we don't have time for an intro, so boom, we're gonna. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Here we go. Hello, guys. Welcome to our review of Drawing the FranXX episode 21. I'm your host, Cinder Blaze. With me today, we have.
Strangers.
And Makotoa.
All right, guys. This I feel like would be the climax of the series, except
There's three more episodes, which is
What the hell?
this is like the climax that wasn't really the climax because there's obviously some stuff that still has to be dealt with, and
yeah, and then we have some stuff that happened, just stuff.
yeah.
Stuff. I mean,
So let's just let's not talk about what happened at the very end right now, but let's just kind of talk about how you guys felt about the build up, especially with the interactions between like Hero and the Classic Sword Princess. I felt like that was a little bit like, hammy shonen kind of just ideals that are just getting beaten into us again. So like for me, I'm kind of used to it, but it wasn't bad. Like
yeah,
they gave it enough context that it fit this series, so I was okay with the scene, and I kind of enjoyed it.
mhm. Like, ignoring the dumbness that is Verm, just taking it for what it is. I liked most of the build-up.
Yeah,
I very much did. I feel like as much as, I don't think I think no. I know meant all of us were probably walking into this episode with low expectations thinking we were going to be disappointed because of last episode, and I was not disappointed in the way that I thought I would be. And in fact, I was pleasantly surprised by the way that everything started happening. Just one thing after another, and even it made me forget. It made me forget about okay, this came out of nowhere type alien stuff, because I think they did a pretty good job explaining stuff a little bit better. And
yeah,
maybe it was one of those sort of info dump type things, but I think they handled it in the best way that they probably could have, as like as a way to sort of put a band-aid on what they just, the wound they just dealt. So I actually I like the show again now.
yeah,
I was this is good,
yeah.
and I'm just like invested again, and it hurts.
This episode is good, but also, okay, we really need to talk about the end now because.
Wait, no, I don't want to talk about the end right now.
Okay.
Because I feel like that kind of like throws every other thing out of the window. Because like I want to talk about it like as it is, and then like once we get to that part, it kind of changes everything. So, shoot, what was it? Oh yeah, so this episode did a lot of things right, which like despite like the overall plot of the show just kind of being like not completely shit, but like it's still like the drop that we had from last episode where the Virum thing just kind of like screwed things up for us. It's still there, but let's just kind of go through like what scenes actually made me enjoy this episode. One, when one of the nines people got devoured by the
Yeah,
invaders.
Yes. Oh, that was good.
I did not expect the door in a freaking mech anime.
Yeah, like I was having a lot of like I don't know what to actually care about because like there was just like a hodgepodge of just like
Yeah.
action happening. I'm like, I don't care about any of this. Like, what's even going on? And then we see someone just like get brutally murdered, and like it's not like even though he could like say, oh, it's a pointless death that really has no consequences. The things it kind of did for the mood of the episode really helped the other stuff that was going on. Because like after we see them kind of get destroyed, and they're the elites, we kind of
Yeah.
see our squad just in the middle of it, and we're just like, oh god, someone might die in this group, and they go straight towards the giant bomb, where they have tons of
Yeah.
Virum traps as well.
When they started that, when they first started the countdown, it was like 17. How many hours is that? Dang, they got
No,
time to
no.
kill.
I like
That
got
was
Then,
30
hours.
minutes.
That was minutes. 30 minutes.
oh, that was minutes. Okay,
Yeah,
gee,
not
never
hours.
mind. Okay, I thought that was hours for some
No.
reason. But time passes, and then we're on the clock, and we're trying to rush to get there in time before Hero dies or something. But also we're on the clock with characters being sacrificed potentially. It set the
Oh.
tone once that one person got eaten. because
okay.
then one after another, it felt like our characters were, oh, I'll stay behind and you go on ahead, and that, oh,
One thing we really didn't talk about. All right, do you think Ikuno's dead or alive after that?
Yukino's definitely still alive after that because I
No,
think we.
no, because we didn't see her. We didn't see the mech or the inside of her mech at least. I'm not sure if we saw her mech at the very end, but we're not going much into that. But
I feel like
she had
she's
Gillet.
alive, but like dying. Like her hair is still gonna be white. They're gonna see that there's something wrong with
um,
how they're fighting. Like I feel like they're gonna kind of come to terms that if they pilot the Franks to fight another threat, like what if Viren comes back in like the last 3 episodes? Like they are gonna have to be willing to sacrifice their lives just to deal with that threat. And I'm kind of scared because I like a lot of these
dude,
characters and I
this
don't.
is the okay. So like the craziest thing I think in my mind is that right now, what's left to save but their lives? All the other people in the world apparently just freaking got
Rapture.
raptured up yeah, into the sky into soul meat. And
No,
so now they're gone. So
no,
who's left to
no, no.
save
I think
except these
no,
guys?
no. I think the only people left to save are all the Frank's pilots.
Yeah, that's
Which
yeah.
no makes a lot of sense because the only ones who can still reproduce.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
And,
go.
and so we need people to live. Otherwise, what's the point? Like,
Also, okay, man. All right, place your bets on which couple survive.
oh my gosh. Hold on, before we do that, I wanted to go back to the nines because when immediately when we saw them again this episode, it was just like, "Oh, what are you guys doing here? You're supposed to be at your posts." I don't care what, you say, Papa's orders or, and this, that, and the other thing. And you're just like, oh, yeah, they were just here to pretty much be the antagonists to this group. But then it wasn't actually the case necessarily. They just got murked, and then our team just scurried along. And
yeah.
so it didn't happen like we thought. It didn't happen where it was like, okay, yeah, this team is being set up as like when the crazy stuff starts going down, these guys are just going to get in the way and possibly even kill some of our protagonists here. And no, at least not yet. But no, they just got wiped. I think the only one relevant left is probably going to be
What do you mean the
Mika.
only relevant one left? He's always been the only relevant one. He's the only one who's really had like much dialogue to begin with, and
Yeah,
yeah, like actually when they were kind of just saying like, oh, well, Papa's ordered this and this and this. Like, thank God the other invaders just kind of just pushed
yeah,
off to the side, so they had no authority in that fight,
yeah,
basically. But like when they actually were in Strelasia's kind of like or APAT's kind of
yeah,
unit, and they were defending against like the invaders and stuff. I know you mentioned how like there was like two timers going off. Honestly, that whole 30-minute timer I didn't really pick up on like, and I didn't really care all too much. But I was like worried for their lives when they kind of went into like somewhere where we've been shown that they probably might die. Like even Ichigo later on in that like scene, she could have died easily. And
yeah,
like I was just like, oh shit, like Zero Dude has to go there and save Hero as soon as possible, or else these guys are at risk. And I'm just kind of like super
yeah,
scared. And
yeah.
that thrill is something that I kind of like. Kind of gives things like stakes again. And even though like
Suspense. Yeah,
yeah, and like even though the plot might not be the best, at least there's something worth watching for.
oh, yeah.
There's definitely good moments. All right. Any more things before we proceed to the end?
Franks, he's dead.
Oh yeah,
And
Dr. Franks is well that happened at the end, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
but
and the snake
let's talk about his
sacrifice
character this
is
episode. Yeah.
will be well appreciated. I
I really hoped he wouldn't die because I wanted him to be the guy at the. He needs to be some like guy who's on his deathbed at the end, reminiscing like, "I'm glad that I chose to trust in humanity instead of immortality."
I don't know. He was kind of like obsessed till the very end, you know.
Yeah.
I like Frank's probably one of my favorite characters, honestly.
yeah
So, but seeing him like go out of his way, death clock was gonna happen anyway. He's probably gonna die. Might as well, give Zero Two her last wish, gave her some parting words, and I liked those moments. I did.
Also, rip off his arm again.
Yeah, gotta have that moment where Hashirama sells just, plot plot convenient device that works for everything.
Yeah,
Oh
but
no, that was not really a plot device because he was actually going to go in the mech before with the princess.
yeah, like that was the only thing that could have worked, and like that was something that they said at the very beginning. Like it was only 02 who could be able to enter that in the first place, and she's a clone of someone else who he also has DNA of, the DNA he used to clone in the first place.
Yeah.
So like that was really succinct and stuff. But when he kind of does have that exchange before she kind of goes into like the deepest like chamber to save Hero and stuff, I feel like in that scene like 02 kind of recognized FranXX as like a father of some sort, and I feel like FranXX kind of felt that in a way. So that kind of like hole he felt with like not being able to like have a child of his own kind of got fulfilled via 02. So if you kind of think about it like in terms of like life, once you kind of produce that other one, your duty is kind of fulfilled. And I felt like it was in this series, it was a fitting end to him. But he will be missed, especially since we have 3 episodes left, and I feel like he's a very useful asset.
Yeah. I mean, when the children are back and alive, and there's nothing left, it's like, I guess we'll just recreate culture.
Yeah.
But also rest in peace, Snake Klaxosaur.
Yeah.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. You were too cool for the sinful earth.
Yeah.
Hey man, you gotta admit, coolest guy.
Yeah.
Coolest guy.
But
Coolest
he
guy.
wasn't the only sacrifice that was made this episode. And let's just jump towards what kind of threw us off at the beginning of this review, because we started this review right after we finished the episode.
Threw us super hard off, super for a loop, wholly unexpected.
What? No.
It was expected, but not for this episode. Because, like, I would.
No, wholly unexpected because you don't. Okay, I guess, yeah, wholly unexpected for this episode, but it's super far back. Gosh dang.
No.
Okay.
No.
Now let's just actually say what it is. So
The supposed death of 02 and
yeah.
the implications for the rest of the series.
Well,
Which
not only the supposed death 02, also just the enemies just flying off and everyone being pretty much in their almost dead condition, and Frank's actually dying.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and they're just like, oh well, at the very least we can take the spear of life or some crud.
they just freaking. Oh gosh, what's the word for it? They just took over the Springhorn, his flu outfit, and something else is all right. I saw the APAT like reach out for it. It's like, oh man, he's just gonna kill it, and then it's gonna all be great, and the threat's gone, and no, she dies.
yeah.
I don't understand. Wait, please explain to me what this spear was. Has it been foreshadowed? Has it been mentioned?
It's been foreshadowed, and we've seen it a couple times, especially towards the beginning of this fight.
They mentioned it as, oh, we're gonna make this as a weapon against the Klaxosaurs.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it was like the super weapon. I think they were defending it the entire time. Either that or a path. I wasn't like particularly sure, but yeah, it's been mentioned that it was like a super weapon of some sorts. So
Also, where's the giant baby hand? Is that gonna be the end? Is that what we've got 3 episodes left for?
We've seen nothing of the giant baby hand. Well, actually, now that you mention it, I'm actually really scared that we're gonna have a random Deus Ex Machina where it's just, hey, we're gonna bring 02 back to life, and let's see what else.
Well, like, yeah, I don't expect her to be dead for the next 3 episodes.
No,
I don't. I hope.
Let me finish my thought.
Alright.
Not only are they gonna bring her back to life, they're also gonna go like, all right, you know what? All the people who are not looking so good, we found a way to give you extra life without, making you, infertile. And it's just, hey, white hair gone, consequences gone. I'm just really scared of something like that happening.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that likely,
I don't know. Like, I don't know. That I mean, it's gonna be hard enough to see what they're gonna do with her death going on right now. Like,
Yeah. Like, this is gonna be a very painful scene for a hero because he's gonna be stuck in like his episode 1 state where he can't pilot a FranXX, and they have Virm possibly coming back to just destroy them once and for all. So
yeah. Watch us do like a 6-year time skip or something like in the last 3 episodes.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I don't want to see a
No, actually, no. You're thinking small. Like 20-year time skip. Everyone's adults. Everyone has children.
except Hero.
Uh,
Yeah, yes, Hero. Wait, no. Hero kind of has a child. He's holding the hand of a little red girl. It's another 02 clone.
oh my goodness.
I thought like
Hero.
he grabbed on the fragments of 02 as she kind of faded into dust.
No.
And then-
No.
I don't know how FranXX production.
Sorry, that was a very crappy Kamen Rider reference, but we're not going to go into that.
Speaking of Hero, I got to go back to the moment when he was talking to a Klaxosaur princess because some of the things he said were just spot on. Like, I know he hasn't been the best protagonist, but like they gave him some really good lines in that moment. The pretty much stuff where it goes back to sort of the basis of this show where it's kind of trying to show the value of life with a partner, right? And then I guess we have Ape, or Virm, which are trying to transcend, life as becoming this hive mind type thing. And then there's the Klaxosaurs who thought that solitude in underground darkness for trillions of years would be the best route for strength. But it's like, okay, so you have a few different like ideologies going around, but it worked. It worked for me. It was touching for those moments when he was talking about 02 and stuff. It was just 02 and Hero just, they have been stellar.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like, personally, I felt like it was a bit just... It fit the context of the series enough that I didn't have many gripes with it, because it just felt like, well, I mean, the Klaxosaurs kind of did stupid things, but they did do stupid things, we can't ignore it, and this is the speech that I feel like would have been most effective, and Hero delivered it pretty well. I feel like for stuff like this, he's really good at instilling hope in the other characters, especially like when we see it with 02 and like the Klaxosaur princess. It was heartening. So, do you guys have any final thoughts for this episode? Like, what do you guys think is gonna happen in the next few episodes? Just kind of like shoot that.
Well, we can get back to my question now. Which couples do you think are gonna survive?
I don't want to say
all
it
gonna
because
survive.
All right,
they all
okay,
die. It's
fine.
all on you. I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx anyone.
All right. Actually, no. I'll go with which couples are going to die. I think Ikuno's gonna die. Toshi's gonna live
I don't think
because that's his life. Kokoro and Mitsuru are going to die, just to make Futoshi's life even worse.
I don't think so. I feel like if someone's gonna die out of that, it's gonna be Mitsuru, and then Kokoro, because she's technically kind of pregnant. So I feel like they want to have some payoff to that setup.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Kokoro dies in childbirth. There we
No,
go.
because no, because like that has to be the ultimate victory. That is the ultimate victory for our squad.
What,
Isn't
like
it-
everyone gets wiped out except Kokoro, and she just kind of like gives birth and then dies right afterwards, and just has this baby, just kind of lost.
Because it
And then
does
Virm comes out of nowhere, picks it up.
it's so symbolic for this show. It's so like that is the victory that they were fighting for. They wanted to live like human beings. They wanted to live the way they wanted, and they chose their path.
Yeah.
Papa hated the fact that they did it. There's the fact that they've made it this far. I don't think that they're going to just use that as an easy like tearjerker bait moment.
Yeah.
Because it's just too important for this series as a whole. That when this victory happens, that at least, you know, she survives with the child. I don't know if necessarily he will, the, you know, father, but like Mitsuru. But I want to see it happen. I want to see the two of them with the child survive, because that just, it gives this beautiful image of, you know, having a family unit.
Yeah,
The
it's
representation
kind of like the
presented.
antithesis of what Grimm is trying to accomplish by
Yeah.
kind of releasing everyone from their physical forms.
So-
and having children is kind of like the defining thing of the defining physical trait of life.
I feel like they're going to make it. If anyone's not going to make it, like I hate saying this, but it's going to be Hero 2. It's going to be Hero 2. They might not survive, because like, unless, you know, like Jordan said, they pull some random crazy stuff and suddenly she's fertile and everything. I think they're going to have a tragic, like, together till the end type.
I don't know, because I
no.
feel like if 02 comes back after this, which I'm pretty sure she will, that's not going to happen, because we've already had our quote bad end and her dying this episode.
Okay, you know, if 02 comes back and she can have babies, that's the only thing, that only crazy part that I'd be okay with, because I want to see how the kid comes out.
It comes out purple, and then everyone freaks the fuck out.
Good.
All right.
Comes out the burn with practicals. Oh no.
All right. Well, I think we're kind of just rambling on at this point. So that is it from us, I believe. Any final thoughts? Nope. All right. Sweet. Guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that other jazz. Check our description for everything that's there. We have a Discord chat. If you want to discuss more about this episode, we'll be happy to reply. So we'll catch you next time. Keep it juicy.
Yeah.
Later.
And we're out. And guess what?
But
Your guys' audio is coming in. My audio is coming in. And I'm recording.
Don't freaking scare me like that. I swear I was waiting for you to say my audio wasn't recording.